Welcome to the Beyond the Border podcast with Coach Arnold, and today we're talking about with Coach Tatum. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Oh, I am fine. I think that Coach Tatum is a coach with a big experience. Can you tell something about your coaching experience and maybe something about your basketball way? I think we both really love people and love a game. And what can you tell about it?
So basketball has been a part of my life for since I was 4, maybe 5 years old. Growing up playing, it started off as just like a lot of people, just as a hobby or something your parents want to do. And as we got older, as me and my brother, we grew up playing basketball together for I want to say 90% of my career, probably a little bit 85, 80% of his career. On the same team and everything. It was just something we did as a family. It means a lot to us. It helped us really learn about who we are as individuals and like help shape us as individuals. I got back into coaching because I was looking to be competitive or have a competitive type of atmosphere without having to put the damage on my body. I've had some major knee surgeries and stuff like that, and it just you still have love for the game after you do it for so long and you do it for so many years. So and that's how I got into coaching and that's how I got became and that's just my part of my life story. Basketball.
Oh, okay. Um, I have an ACL injury too, and I really
Yeah,
understand you.
yeah.
Um, okay. You've played WAU and even worked on at a D1 program. How did each of those experiences shape you as a player and now as a coach?
So AAU basketball has always been a big part of my life. Here in the States, I grew up in the time frame when AAU was just starting up. I guess it was bigger for um, when when you begin meeting people, you begin seeing some of the things. Um, AAU is just I guess AAU became part of my life at a very young age. It helped me network. It helped me learn how to communicate with different individuals, and it helped me grow. And then it led me to, like you said, walking on to at school. I only played for a short time, just because of the commitment of it, and just the change of the game. As a player and as an individual, basketball shaped me to be the man I am today, being outspoken, learning how to be a leader, learning how to be a servant leader of God, and learning how to speak openly about what I want as an individual. As a coach, it led me to be me. It led me to change the world. I just told friends today. I believe AAU basketball and coaching has allowed me to be the disciple that God called me to be and called me to grow to. And that's just what it is. It started off as a being young and working through the same program I am, working up to high school in the same program I am, and we've always been faith based, and we've always wanted to. Coach Nate, who is a great guy, not only as a coach but as a mentor and a father figure in my life. He's always been hourly of your faith and hourly of who you are and what you stand for.
Okay, that's cool. Now you are coaching in a program you came up through yourself. What does it mean to you to give back and be a role model for kids coming up behind you?
It means a lot because it means almost everything I can as an individual because it's something that I was on one of the first teams in the Texas Tar Heels program as a player, and then now I'm coaching. Um, it's something really special. I don't think a lot of guys get to go back to the program they played with and get to coach, and not only just coach, but work with the guy that coached them. Coach Nate, he tells me all the time he still sees me as the 10 or 11-year-old boy that I started playing with, and he's like, it's hard to believe that I'm 30 years old. I have pride in what I do. You have, and that's what it means is being prideful, being able to share your joy with other people because a lot of it. comes from just being being direct, being having planning, and just like having being purpose driven. I think coaching is now part of my purpose, and I'm very surprised to see that basketball does have a major role in my life, but it gives me a purpose driven mindset, and that's the biggest thing.
Mm. Can you tell me what age group do you usually start working with?
I've coached multiple different age groups. Currently I do have some sixth graders. They're going in seventh grade. They're I usually start around the sixth, seventh grade, and then I'll follow my kids through 12th grade. So that's I want to say about 8 years.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So
That's
they're
cool.
usually by the time they get to me, they're usually 12 or 11 years old.
Mm. I think 12, 13 years old is most interesting age to coach, and this very very difficult period in life, in people's life, and I think uh, coaching in this age is really important for kids, I think.
Yes, yes.
Mm. Can you tell me what are the values and culture that define your team and your coaching style?
Can you say that again?
What are the values and culture that define your team and your coaching style?
I think one of the values is be direct and be mindful of what we say. And have a work ethic and be purpose driven. Be courageous and be faith driven, and know that no matter what, God is in your life. The coaching style is hard work. Work hard. That's the first thing. Have a plan and understand why are you doing what you're doing. Um, and that's the main thing. We're closing, Justin. Okay. If you give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, the coaching style that I really want people to understand is when they come to us, first it's going to be what God has to offer. Um, we're going to take it and pour we're going to pour ourselves into you as much as we can. Um, we try to be the best role models we can be, and then teach the boys and girls to be men and women of God. That's the biggest thing. Not everybody will make it to play professionally. Not everybody will make it to play overseas. But what they can do is everybody will make it. We want everybody to leave. At least I do. When they meet me, I want them to understand that, hey, you will be, you will have a purpose. Your purpose is past basketball, and that's why I want them to understand as a coach and as a player.
Okay. Uh, I saw the stats and I know that only about 1% of kids will go on to play professionally. Uh, and I think we should rise good people, first of all. Maybe
Correct.
not a NBA player. It's good if some child will be a basketball player. It's really cool, but I think we should grow good and kind people. How do you think?
Yes, I agree, 100%. And that's what we want to teach our boys is if you don't have basketball at some point, whether you play professionally or whether you play um, through high school, middle school, whatever you're doing, we want our boys to understand the ball will stop rolling, and once it stops rolling, what do you have to offer the world, and what do you have to offer? In my standpoint, what do you have to offer the kingdom of God? We all have a role to play in the body of God, body of Christ, and let's play that role. And that's what we want to teach in basketball as well. Is when you find your role, play it the best you can.
Yeah. And mm, personally, Personally, I believe coaching is not just about basketball. It's about building character and how I say, raising great people. What do you approach to that?
It I agree too. We want to raise great people through the game, and we want like through sportsmanship, through um life hard lessons, through a hard practice, etc. Especially with kids at my age group where they're 12, 11, 12, 13 years old, they're still new to puberty, they have a lot of testosterone. So it's like being able to control that and not being afraid to say, "Hey, I need to do this, I need to do that," etc. The best way is the first I would tell coaches learn who that player is as an individual. Um, don't don't do it as a oh as a surface level relationship. You have to build a relationship with the kids. You have to build a relationship with the guys that you're coaching, and to do that, it takes effort, it takes practice, and it takes different different types of plannings. Um, it also takes it takes courage. We're adults, we're adult males, and we have to be able to speak up and say, "Hey, this isn't right. You need to fix this." Whether it's your attitude, whether it's your um, body behavior, whether it's speaking up to look another official adult in their eyes, etc. I want to give a shout out to my guy Davion Vasquez. He's been one of those first kids that I've coached, and he's grown so much as an individual that whether he gets to play college basketball or not, he's going to change the world, and he's going to have the ability for it. And I think that's what we want. When we leave, when we leave Earth, what type of legacy do you want to have? And my legacy that I want to have is, um, it doesn't matter how many breaths I take, but it's the number of people that I have an impact with, and the number of people that grow with me.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's similar to me. It's really cool. I think we need more coaches like that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you handle players who are struggling, whether mentally, emotionally, or just with confidence? And I think in the United States, it's uh, uh, more difficult than in other countries because a lot of media and people who watch and interested in basketball.
Yes. It's different, and it varies on the person, and it varies on your relationship with them, and it varies on who they are. Like I have two guys, Samson and Jackson. I love their families, love those guys as individuals, but it definitely varies. It varies to the point of how you grow. So my conversations with Samson are completely different than the conversations that I would have with Jackson. Um, you know, their living standard, they might have their living life differently. They go home differently. So it definitely varies, and it matters. Um, so I think that's the biggest thing is and having a relationship with them. Whether the kid's struggling mentally, it's okay. Why is he struggling mentally? Can we talk about what's going on in his personal life, what's going on in his home life, whether it's school, his girlfriend, etc. If he's struggling physically, it's we address that in practice, and we address that in the weight room here. Um, so it varies based off that person and what they need, whether it's skill set wise, whether it's physical wise, or whether it's mentally. It'll vary. And once you know that person, once you grow from that person, you have to be able to understand that, and you have to get to know them like that.
Okay. Um, you have described yourself as a faith-based coach. How does your faith influence the way you lead, serve, and teach?
It plays. I want to say everything I do is because I have a relationship with God. So I would not still be coaching if I didn't believe this is part of my calling, to serve in the body of Christ. And so with that, again, I grew up in this program, and since I've been in sixth grade, so 12 years old, we've always prayed after every game, after every practice. We've always been servant leaders. We've always been able to outwardly share what's going on in our lives. And so that without having Christ, I want to be a coach.
Okay. Could you tell me about what's one lesson or moment in your life that completely changed the way you see coaching?
One lesson, one big change I see is I'm adopted, and so with being adopted is I didn't grow up with a lot of people that were adopted, and so I had a player, Jalen Lyons. He played at A&M Commerce. Um, Jalen Lyons, he was the first kid I met that said, "Hey, coach, I'm adopted, and what you tell me is really special." Uh, and what he did for me was probably even more special because it allowed me to build a relationship and understand, like, hey, with that relationship, you can grow, and you can grow your basis.
I understand that I had a kid who was battling cancer, and it was a really great experience to me. He's healthy now, and he's a really good boy, and he's training now. But it it was a really big uh, experience for me, and I think we do both a great thing in our lives.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've had one that has cancer. We had one guy, um, he broke his arm, and he's a great kid. Shout out to Reed. Last year he broke his arm. This year he had to sit out his last month of the surgery, and he just comes back and works harder every single time. And that's what you want to see, and that's what you want kids to take from you is, to me at least, is like, hey, you can get past anything if you can go through these hard practices, if you can go through these hard moments, you can get past a lot.
Yeah, agree with you. Um, in your opinion, what matters most when training young players? Physical ability, skill development, basketball IQ, or the mental side of the game? And has your answer to that changed over time? In our country, I think we do more exercise on basketball IQ, on decision making, but I see how crazy technique in the United States. Uh, it's it's really cool. What can you tell about it?
Yeah, no, it varies from kid to kid. Like I said, and I spoke to both their parents today, and I speak to them pretty often. Um, and they both vary. So I'll say Jack, like Samson, his skill work and his development goes towards he has a physical aspect. He's a kid. He's almost about 6 foot, going in seventh grade. He's strong. He's mentally and capable. He's capable of doing a lot around the basket. And so for him, his is skill work and dribbling, having building a soft touch. For Jackson, because he's a smaller kid, his is going to be more of the physical standpoint of whether he needs to get in the weight room or stretch. He has a great skill set, but with that skill set, if he can't get to the basket, it does us no good. So it varies from kid to kid, and it's definitely changed over the years because what has happened is coaching. I first viewed coaching as, if I was this player, this is what I would do. But now it's, this is the best standpoint for this player. So it's changed over the years and it's changed over time. Um, but the main thing is um, building that relationship and seeing what that kid values and understanding what the parents want. I think Samson's parents do a great job at communicating what they want. Jackson's parents do a great job of communicating what they want. So if you understand that player's goals and what they need, you can definitely alter their practices or skill sessions or their small groups based off what they need, and that's what we do at our program. We're kind of taking the standpoint of the European type of play where you'll play for we'll practice 7 times and only play once. And that's what we do in order to go play on our tournament teams. Because when we go play, when it's time to play, we don't have that amount of time to work on those skill sets.
Hmm. Okay. Uh, um, mm, can you tell me how much games in a year uh, play kids in the United States in a season?
Um, so our season is kind of different. We play for our program specifically. We'll play between 10 and 12 tournaments. And that's probably 48 games minimum. But we practice every week. And so we practice every week for twice a week for about, I want to say 16, 12 or 16 weeks. So typically we'll start in the February timeframe and we'll leave around and we'll end our in the last week of July like we just did. And so that's usually about um, 32 to 24 practices per games. So it's a little bit less than half. So
48 games in a season, yes?
yeah, and so that's our tournament season, and that's a
Uh,
lot. Yeah, it is a lot.
like a half time in NBA.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's a lot. So, but that's just how the United States has moved. It's probably not the best, but that's why in the fall we typically um, we'll practice more than we play. So
but I think it's a great experience for kids because in our country we haven't got a lot of games, maybe 15 or 20 in a season.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, and that's I mean I think it should be like that, but it's not. So that's the worst thing. Um, because by the time the players get to high school or college, they still have to work on things that kids from Europe or your country don't have to work on anymore. And it's just it's just it's tough. You're right. So
Okay. About college, what advice would you give to young players who wants to play at the college level but maybe don't get noticed early?
I would say keep playing, keep playing, keep playing, and give yourself an opportunity. Surround yourself with individuals that truly care for you and care about your goals. Some of my guys, I mean, most of my guys, they won't get picked up until their senior year. Um, Brother, yeah, we're doing. My guys don't get picked up until their senior year or get the look until their senior year. Don't give up just because you see the media. Don't give up because you're not getting the looks. But the biggest thing is to be around people that care about you and be around coaches that care about you. Obviously, we would hope your parents care about you and your family does, but it takes a village to get you where you need to go. I had a player; he was a great point guard. He was one of the best point guards in the state. Um, a coach said he was going to offer him in September. He didn't get his offer until March, so he waited almost 6 months to get his offer. But you still have to play hard. You still have to give everything you have and don't give up and know that God has a plan for you.
Okay, thank you. Uh, can you tell me what kind of legacy do you want to leave, both as a coach and as a man of faith?
Um, the biggest legacy I want to be leave as a man of faith and as a coach, I want to commit everything I can to the Lord. I want to work with everything in my heart to give it and give Him. I want people to see that. I want to be able to lead with strength and courage, knowing that He will do whatever I need Him to do in my life. I want Him to be the shepherd of my life, and I want Him to guide me with integrity, give me examples, and be a man with purpose. trusting in God and to establish and knowing He's going to establish my hard work with my hands. Um, again, like I said, life isn't measured by the brush you take, but by the people effect. When it's time for my like, when it's time, I want people to say I'm a leader, I'm a mentor. I've changed their life in a positive way. There might be people out there um, that don't like the way I live or don't agree with everything I say, but we're going to Torchies. And I want them to understand, like, hey, I battled challenges. I wasn't this great guy, but I got through the challenges, and that God led me through those challenges, and and that was part of my purpose. Um, and I live by the life of life isn't measured by the breath you take, by the people you affect. I don't care how many people. Oh, we're about to leave. I have like 5 minutes. Um, I know wherever I go and whatever I do, that the Lord has me, and I want people to understand that the best compliment somebody can say is, um, and when I pass, I want somebody to say, when I pass, I want to get to heaven and say, I want God to say, well done, my servant. That's the legacy I want to have.
Okay, that's amazing. We have a little bit time, and I want to ask you some short question uh, about basketball, and about your opinion. What's your favorite NBA player and why?
My favorite NBA player currently, that's tough. I'm still a big Russell Westbrook fan because he kind of has the lifestyle that the story that he has of me. But overall, Carmelo Anthony and Ben Wallace, both great players, always were one of the hardest working. I want to say Ben Wallace, even though he wasn't the biggest. I mean, I'm only 5'10", and he was 6'8" center, so that resembles what I had going on. You just have to work. Those guys that work hard and they beat that story. It's great. Those are my type of guys.
Mm. Uh, are you more like old NBA? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm an old like between 2000 and 2015 huge NBA guy. I still remember growing up, my parents and my god dad and my godmom, they would come over, we would sit down and we would watch basketball every Sunday. That was our Sunday routine after games and after church.
Okay. What's your favorite finals in NBA?
Ooh, that's tough. But I want to say Kobe's last championship against the Celtics. That was the best.
Um,
Yeah, so I was because he didn't have the best team, but he played super hard, and just that was probably my favorite finals moment.
Kobe or Michael?
Oh man, that's tough. But I'm gonna say Michael. A lot of people will say Kobe, but Michael just because he we would not have the NBA if it wasn't for Michael. A lot of people like don't understand that, but he how much he changed. You have to understand his documentary and understand like what he really did as a player. Because when Michael came in the league, it was still legal for people to be drinking beers and smoking cigarettes before the game.
I really love an ESPN series about Chicago, and I see it every year, and it's really motivated me. Uh, do you see that?
Oh yeah, yeah. The one with the um yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it definitely changes the perspective though when they do those documentaries. It changes your view of them as individuals. I love that.
What's your favorite movie or series about basketball?
My current favorite one is the one with that's tough. Obviously everybody can say Kobe, but my favorite one right now is they did one of Dr. J, and that was great. So I'm a huge fan of him. Or actually, the one with Magic Johnson. It's on Max. HBO Max, and they tell his life story, how he entered the league and what it was like. Um, because it's super important for people to watch that, especially if they like the WNBA, because they enjoy. It shows pretty much what they're struggling with the WNBA, but on the men's side as well. Um, like where the league was losing money and they almost canceled the league before Magic Johnson and Larry Bird entered the league. So they those two changed the game as well.
I don't see that, but I think it's really interesting.
Yeah,
And what about movies?
movies overall, that's really tough. There's so many good ones. I'm a big Marvel guy, so I would say Avengers.
Avengers. Okay. What about basketball movies?
Basketball movies, it would be geez, that's tough. Basketball movies, that's really tough. Probably like Mike, actually. Yeah, like Mike. That's
Oh, like Mike.
yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. My favorite movie is Coach Carter.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Yeah, yeah. So that's based in Texas.
yeah,
Yeah, that's actually based
this
in
film
Texas.
changed my life, and
Yeah,
I started to do basketball, um, and I really love it.
yeah.
Um, okay. Um, Uh, big no. Thank you for the interview. I think it's really interesting for me and for listeners who will listen it. I'll translate it into my language and into another media, and I think it will be available in 2 3 weeks. I would to do a lot of jobs to translate it
Yeah.
for my language, and it will be available on in English, of course. Uh, and I really glad to see you on this podcast, and it's really cool that you give me your time
Oh,
and
of course. I appreciate you having me on and let me speak on my story and just speaking outwardly of my faith. So I really appreciate that as well.
okay, thank you. I think we both a good job, a great job for kids, for people, um, and in basketball too. Okay,
Yep.
big thank you and have a nice day.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.